In our first chapter, we learn how Karina became a business owner with Desi.
I said to him, why don't you just sell the company? And his response was, make me an offer.
And I remember Karina looking at me and going, oh my gosh, what did we just do? And 45 days later, we owned the business.
We also learn how Karina was first hired with CRS.
Well, at that time, the hospital that I worked at was one of the contracts that CRS had. I used to interact daily with the person the previous owner of CRS, and he asked me to come on board with him.
She came home one day and said, there's a man that owns this company, and he told me that he goes, I want you to come work for me.
And he made me an offer I couldn't refuse.
And that's how she started with CRS.
While we learned some of Desi's story in our latest chapter, we now have much to learn about Karina, like how she's from New York and a huge Mets fan.
Well, when you're from New York, if you're a baseball fan, you're either a Mets fan or a Yankee fan.
Karina is one of those people at a baseball game where she will yell out if she wants to see the players beforehand. I remember being in Atlanta and she yelled out, Armando, I love you!
How she met her husband and started a family when she was very young.
Karina asked me out on a date, and I said, how old are you? And she said, 17. I said, you ask me again when you're 18.
How her favorite music is Meatloaf.
And I would do anything for love. Oh, I would do anything for love.
And of course, as you know her now, as one of the proud owners of CRS. This is Karina's story.
It's my lucky day. My lucky day. My lucky day. 'Cause I know today it's gonna go my way. I can see the sunshine through the rain. My lucky day.
You said before you've been working in this industry since you were 16 years old?
I probably lied about that. Well, you know what? Come to think about it, I was a candy striper at 16. Do you know what a candy striper is? They don't even have candy stripers anymore. Candy stripers were girls that you volunteered at the local hospital, and you wore a pink and white pinstripe pinafore dress. And you walked around and you filled people's water jugs, and you did whatever they wanted you to do. You were a volunteer at the hospital, like they have now. So I think I fell in love with the hospital setting then. Working in a hospital is exciting. I think, probably I got my first love of working in a hospital and in that industry way back then when I was a candy striper. That's funny. I wonder if Desi even knows what a candy striper is. We have to ask her that. Did you ask her that? I got married very young, got married at 21, and had kids immediately. I have 3 children. My husband and I did not want to put our children in daycare. So my husband works full time. We don't want to put the kids in daycare, so what am I going to do? So I looked in the newspaper and I took a job at the hospital right around the corner for ER registration, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 to 11.
Karina and her family moved to Florida a few years later, where she again got a job at another hospital.
And then she got jobs working at the hospital in the admitting office on the weekends, and then from there to the business office.
And data processing had a full-time position Monday through Friday, and it was the 11 to 7 shift at night. It was overnights. Well, I found out very quickly, within 3 months, that I am not an overnight person. I can't work nights. That was not no. And I think right around then, a full-time position opened up in the business office as a Medicaid biller and collector.
Karina moved into a supervisor position in the Medicaid and billing office, which is where she eventually met CRS. And y'all know the rest of that story. But mind you, this entire time building her career, she was a heavily working mama of 2 twin boys and a girl.
Jessica probably has a lot more stuff that.
Chuck would tell on us all the time.
I'm the black sheep of the family, basically.
It's true. We were good kids. I was a good kid, so I didn't do anything.
I mean, it was great growing up. We were a close family. We did lots of stuff together. Our parents, they made a big deal about us spending Friday nights together, family night.
Miami subs.
We went to Miami subs. Yes, it was Miami subs
heroes.
and going to the movie theater. That was our Friday night routine for a long time.
And if we really wanted to get fancy, we'd go to Chili's.
That's
yeah.
right.
That was
That was fancy dinner night.
Chicken crispers for the win.
If you know anything about Karina, you know her family is her everything.
Every sporting event, any kind of club we were part of at school, she was always there. Just a great mom. I mean, and I think it speaks that still as adults now, they're mom and dad, but they just become almost like friends now. It's just we like hanging out together. We're a close family.
I mean, she would remind us as kids all the time that she was not our friend and she was our parent.
Yeah.
But as we became adults, we were glad that changed.
Karina's a great mom and an even better grandmother. There's nothing more important in Karina's life than all those grandkids.
Oh yeah, she's much
Yes.
nicer to her grandkids, like
Yeah.
our kids.
Yeah.
No
yeah.
rules.
She definitely loves them more than she ever loved us.
Yes. I think one of her big sayings is if I knew having grandchildren was this great, she would have done it first.
As a hardworking mother, work supervisor, and eventually business owner, Karina has always shown an example of being a hard worker for her family and others around her.
I don't think Karina struggles with anything she has to do. You give Karina a task and she's going to get it done. If she takes it on, it'll get done. It'll get done just the way she said it was going to get done in the time she said it would get done. Karina was one of those people that gives you 100%.
I wanted to learn everything. I was involved in collecting payments, so I wanted to make sure that, because I do everything at 150%, I wasn't just collecting payments. I now wanted to make sure that we were collecting the right payment. I wanted to learn everything that there was about the business office.
I don't think it's not a surprise to me that at this point in life that she runs and owns her own business. I think that was just kind of how we were raised, just with that work ethic and just everything you do it well, you give it 100%, you just give it your all. That was just everything we did. We got that from my mom and my dad together. Really, is both of them.
Yeah.
But that was my dad's owned his own business for years, and it's no surprise what my mom does now as well.
I pride myself in too is that your time is valuable and to be on time for stuff, and when you're not, that's being disrespectful. So
Yeah,
it's a
if
big
you're
respect thing.
Yeah, if you're early, you're on time.
If
on
you're
time,
you're late,
You're
yes,
late. Don't even
that's
bother.
totally my mom.
Yeah.
I knew that Karina would be somebody that I would work very closely with, and she would be that partner in crime, I guess you could say. We kind of just connected. It was like one of those things that she became just my counterpart. I don't know, friendship, trust, loyalty. We just meshed so well. We truly trust and enjoy each other. We're friends. We're not just partners. I think I've never thought of it as anything but Karina and I, because of the fact that even when I was over everything, I never said that. It was her and I just kind of were no, we. It was always we.
Family, strong work ethic, and caring has always been attributes of both Desi and Karina, which is why they wanted the culture of CRS to be built around just that.
We're so proud of you, and you're just fantastic, and we couldn't have asked for a better mom, for sure.
She raised us well. I think she raised us well. 2 out of 3 of us. I won't mention which one, but
Owning a company is very different in reality than in theory.
Actually, we were in the hood. It was bad. A murder happened. We did not want to bring clients there.
That's the one thing about my job I don't like. People to come in who, make appointments to come in for an interview and they don't show up on time. They don't show up at all.
Yeah, he was something else. I do like you too, though.
I just went down a rabbit hole, didn't I?